Yo, what's up, folks? This Impact, and I want to take this time to welcome you all back to the Hurt Business 101. Let's get right into this video, man. Today's video, I want to discuss a fight that I really hope takes place in the year 2024, man, and that is a fight in the super middleweight division for the undisputed super middleweight championship of the world, and that's between Saul Canelo Alvarez and David the Mexican Monster Benavidez. Let's get right into this video. Man, listen, this fight has the potential to be a real cooker. Like, this joint will be so good for the sport of boxing. The fans, it'll be really fan-friendly fight. I mean, this has been building for quite some time, and I think we really need to get it this year if we're going to get it, man. Really need to get it right now while both guys still have. Canelo is you know, he's still young enough where this thing is still, he still has a lot in the tank, so it wouldn't be a discrepancy where it's like one guy's like real old or anything like that. Any arena that they put this thing in, it would sell it out. They could pack it in like Woodstock. The pay-per-view numbers would be through the roof all around. Let's do it, man. I'm excited to even talk about this one. I'm not going to give my prediction in this video. I do want to know what you guys think. So after this video, go down to the comment section. Tell me who you think will win. Tell me what points of this video you agree with, what points you disagree with. And I'll definitely respond to some of the things down in the comment section. I love talking to anyone who interacts with the channel. Let's go. First off, I'm going to talk about some things David Benavidez does well and talk about some potential issues that may occur against Canelo Alvarez that didn't occur with some of his past opponents and reasons why. First off, for David Benavidez, we all know what David Benavidez represents. I love watching David Benavidez fight because I do love that he goes out there and puts on a show every time. He wants to engage. He puts on a lot of pressure. He has a high punch volume, so his work rate is high, so he's not standing around doing a bunch of nothing. Also, he comes forward. He throws hard shots, and he's entertaining to watch. He's 6'2", and he has long arms. So he's tall and he has a long reach. He has a great jab. So he's good at using the jab to punish guys with it and to set up things. So what happens is generally he starts off his fights, he'll jab and fill and jab and fill, but he don't waste no time before he starts marching forward to put on pressure and punch volume and letting his hands go fast in 4, 5, 6 punch combinations. And that's great. And usually when he's doing that and putting that pressure on and using all that punch volume, usually his opponents are so concerned with what's coming in that they don't really make him pay for a lot of mistakes that he makes while he's doing it. Just because, you know, it is easier said than done, and I know it's tough. But some of those guys block, but they aren't really looking to return anything. Against Canelo Alvarez, he has to be very careful when he's coming forward and he's marching forward and putting on that pressure and throwing a lot of shots. And I'm going to tell you why. Canelo Alvarez has a tendency, and people don't give Canelo Alvarez enough credit for his defense. Now, Canelo Alvarez has feet that's in quicksand. Okay, he doesn't have fast feet. But what he does is he can take steps backwards and stop on a dime and fire something. And in particular, that overhand right that he likes to throw, that big overhand right. And he welcomes the pressure. So unlike a lot of guys who are uncomfortable when guys are coming to him and coming to him and coming to him, that's actually what Canelo Alvarez wants. He's a counter puncher. That's why when you see him against a guy like Jermell, you might look at it like, well, why he just didn't go and just attack, and just throw him off a cliff when Jermell didn't want to engage. Well, that's kind of not Canelo's style unless he already hit you with something and he got you dazed. If he just hit you with a big shot and maybe he drop you or like Jermell take a knee, he's not. He has the experience, and he knows when the guy's really hurt and ready to go versus when they're not. He's not one to really stalk a prey down and just beat on him and beat on him and beat on him. That's really not what he does. But what he will do is take those steps back and throw a looping right hand over top if a guy lacks his defensive responsibility or has a lapse. David Benavidez has a tendency to throw those combinations. Then he'll look, and if he see an opening, he'll shoot a left hook to the body. And when he throws that left hook to the body, he does not always bring that left hook back home, that left hand back home to protect himself. And against Canelo Alvarez, that can end up being trouble for him. Canelo Alvarez hit Amir Khan with one of those looping right hands, and that's the one that put Amir Khan down. He also landed one of those iconic shots. We had an iconic moment with him and Triple G in the first fight where he hit Triple G with one of those overhand rights, and then Triple G is snapped and jacked. Triple G's jaw snapped his head back, but Triple G just ate the shot, looked at him, started marching forward again, and then you see that moment when Canelo Alvarez opens his eyes wide like, oh shit, how the hell did he take that shot and keep coming? But, you know, we got a lot of evidence of him catching guys with a shot like that and putting them down or hurting them so bad that he can go in for the kill and get them and throw them off the cliff. He has to be careful with throwing his shots against Canelo Alvarez and not getting his hands back home, especially when he's walking forward. Now, when he's keeping Canelo on the outside, he doesn't have to worry about that because Canelo won't be in range to throw the punches. But as I told you, Canelo has a way of giving ground, making pressure fighters feel comfortable coming to him. He's setting traps for the guys. I want to see how David Benavidez responds to that. Another thing that David Benavidez does, and he does it a lot, is although he's a rangy fighter with long arms, he likes to bang on the inside. He will get on the inside and fight because he throws hard, short shots. Against Canelo Alvarez, a part of his inside game that could come back to haunt him is, once again, when he's on the inside, see, since he's so tall and the guys are shorter than him, they have leverage on him on the inside. They can use their legs and get underneath him and position themselves, and they have the leverage on him. So he has a tendency, since he can't get down with them, to use his forearms and things like that to create punching lanes and use the hand manipulation while he's down there where he can see everything, because he's too far above them. If he was to drop down to their height, well, he's compromising himself because that's too far to bend down. He's not able to really see everything the same way they can when they're down there. Plus, with the shorter arms, the infighting is a lot more in their favor. But what he has a tendency to do is, since he can't use those avenues to get punching lanes and make room for himself to throw punches, he leans back to throw punches. And that is dangerous on the inside against a guy like Canelo, because although Canelo may be blocking and he's covered up, Canelo peeks through his guard. He's not like one of those guys that blocks and guards himself, and he's just waiting for the storm to stop to feel as though it's safe to come back outside and walk on the road. No, he peeks. He makes sure he's watching the whole time. Now, if you keep the volume up, he's not going to throw with you. So if you keep it going, but at some point you got to stop. And Benavidez loves to end off his combinations with that left hook to the body. But when he's on the inside, he leans to create the little space for himself to slip it under there. That's bad, because at that point, Canelo can hit him with an overhand right. I'm very curious to see if he keeps that pressure going. Canelo Alvarez, on Canelo Alvarez's side, a thing that can cause him problems against Benavidez is he fights in spots. He does not like to be carried fast. And for whatever reason, I know he works hard and all of that, but he has a tendency to fade late. Some guys just have natural gas tanks where they can last longer. It don't mean that they working harder than another guy because another guy fade. I don't know what it is with Canelo, but maybe because he's put on more muscle over the years, is what I'm guessing. Put on more muscle, so it's harder for him to regulate his gas tank when it gets to deep waters in the championship rounds. But whatever the case may be, against David Benavidez, getting tired is a recipe for disaster. You know, Canelo wants to discourage guys that want to put pressure on him by hitting them with hard shots. He'll punch you in your arms. He'll punch you in your shoulders. He'll punch you in your hip. If you blocking, he'll just try to punch through the guard just to let you know, like, this shit is hot. So you come on up in here, rushing in here, trying to put pressure on me all you want, you're going to have a problem. I want to see if Benavidez will still put the pressure on when he feels those hot punches coming back at him. I believe he will, but we'll never know until he's in there with a guy that makes him think about it. You know what I'm saying? And when Canelo Alvarez wants to fight in those spots, his activity level is low. So he's not scoring as much. So he has to really be in shape, and he's going to have to accept the fact that he's going to need to fight. Benavidez is going to make you fight. You can't get away with covering up, spot fighting and stuff like that, because at some point, it's a numbers game at some point. Now, I know it's hard to get a decision victory against Canelo unless you really beat him convincingly. You got to either beat him from pillar to post, or you got to run the numbers up on him so crazy that it's even hard for them to take it from you. And Canelo Alvarez don't have any control over that. He's just going out there to try to win the fight. But his influence, and then every time he throws a shot, regardless if the shot lands or not, Canelo is a flashy puncher. So his punches look like a lot, even when they don't land flush. He knows how to throw them crisp, and he throws them hard. And when they land on the opponent anywhere, either whether the gloves or the arms, they got the loud cracking sound. And unfortunately, the crowd goes crazy for everything he does, and that persuades judges. It really does. But, strategically, Canelo's going to have to find a way to keep the pace up, and or make David Benavidez slow down. These are the questions, and these are some of the things that's going to come into play that I'm really trying to see how they get answered, man. I'm excited about it. I hope we get it. And listen, if we get it, we all going to win. It's going to be a banger. I'll give y'all my prediction in another video, man. But for now, that's going to do it, man. I want to thank y'all for tuning in to another edition of the Hurt Business 101. And you know what they say. It's no business like show business. But I say it's no business like the hurt business. 1-0-1. Done.